Alright, the last part of our review today is going to be division, and it's long division. I know we can all use calculators. I know calculators are on all our iPhones and whatever, but it's just a basic numeration piece that everyone should have and be able to know how to do. So here we go. So the question is basically made up of parts for your vocab. That is your divisor. And this number here is your dividend. Vocab's important. Alright, so what you do is you take this 5 and you see how many times it'll go into the digits inside the dividend. And you start from the far left and you work your way over, which is kind of a little bit different than your multiplication and your addition subtraction when you're always starting on the far right. But you start on the far left of the dividend. So the first thing you want to find out is how many times 5 will go into this number 6. We know 5 will go into 6 one time, so you put that 1 right above. Again, putting things in a column and straight up and down helps you out so much. So now we have to know what is 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Put it underneath there, and we're going to subtract to see what our remainder is, what's left over. And we have 1 left over. So we're doing okay. Now what we have to do is we have to bring down this 2 the next column over, and it goes down here. And again, we say to ourselves, how many times will our divisor of 5 go into this number? And 5 will go into 12 twice. You put that down on the top, and then you multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract that, and you get 2. Move this up a little bit. We're doing well. We bring down the next number is 4. And you have to see how many times 5 will go into 24. When we do this, this is where people start to slow down because their multiplication facts are not quick enough. It's something you need to practice and keep working on, and it'll help you with all of your math strands every day. So anyhow, I know that 5 goes into 24 4 times. I put that 4 up here. I multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. And I subtract to get 4. The last one I have to do is bring down this 5. And now again, last step, I have to say how many times will 5 go into 45. I'll put the question so you can see it. It'll go in 8 times. Sorry, no, it won't go in 9 times. My bad. It'll go in 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45, which gives us a remainder 0. So our answer, how many times will 5 go into 6,245? Is 1,249. The only little bit of difference is where we're going to get a little decimal number, and I'm going to show you that next. Alright, so here's a question that we can start working with, and we won't have very many decimals, if at all, maybe just as a little bit more challenging question. I just want you to basically be able to do the basics of long division, but it's important to know how to do it, especially those kids that have a good grasp of it. They can go do these a few times because they're just a little bit harder. Just one little trick. Anyhow, again, you see how many times the first number 6 will go into 4, and it will go in 0 times. We could write a 0 right here, although it's not necessary because it'll be taken out later, but just for a placeholder we could. So 0 times 6 is 0, and you bring that back down and it's 4. Now, many people don't even do that step and use the zeros in there. They just bring down the next number automatically, but I just wanted to keep it the same as the question before. So anyhow, now we have 40, and we have to find out how many times 6 will go into 40. Finding a close number, you could start with 6 times 8, see where that leads you, 6 times 5, and you work your way towards the middle ground. And we know 6 times 6 is 36, and that's as close as we're going to get. So we put the 6 there, multiply it, we get 36. And we put, once we subtract, we have 4 left over. We have to bring down our next number, which is 45, and then again, we have to start thinking, use our math facts, say, okay, how close can I get 6 into 45? It'd be great if it went in evenly, but it's not going to. So after a little bit of pondering, I know that 6 will go into 45 at least 7 times, because 6 times 7 is 42. put the 7 up there and multiply. I get 42. Subtract, I will get 3. Now, our problem is we have no numbers left to do. So sometimes in the earlier grades, right here, they would put remainder 3. And that's a good enough answer when you're in grade 3 or 4 or 5 or whenever you're first starting to do this math. Probably closer to grade 4 and 5. But as we get older and you have to start actually calculating things to get a little more accurate, we cannot leave it as a remainder. We're going to actually have to leave it as a decimal. So in order to do that, and here's a little bit of a trick, we're going to start adding zeros to this number after a decimal place. So now we take this 0, we can bring it down, and we have 0. And how many times 6 will go into 30? We know, fortunately for us, that 6 will go into 30 evenly. 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. That will give us a remainder of 0. No more left to do. And all we have to do with this decimal place is move it up. We didn't have to use this 0 here. I just started by adding a couple zeros. And in your answer, you really wouldn't use that 0. So your final answer is going to be 67.5. And that's how you do division with a decimal place. If you get to the end, there's a remainder, and you want to keep going, you want to get it a little bit more accurate. So those are the ones we're going to practice in class today. Good luck. Ask questions. And just practice. And we've done this before, and I'm confident you can do it again.